hand me a tissue, can't you?
Yes.
Oh, here it is. I got it.
Okay, and I'm switching to you.
Hi everyone and welcome. I'm Tami, the creator of the blog and this YouTube channel called Nutmeg Notebook. We're so glad you could join us today for today's live show. This is where we share all about our whole food plant-based lifestyle. We share recipes and tips and hints and kitchen gadgets and all kinds of fun stuff. Today we're going to talk about how to survive the holiday binge season, as I like to call it. So we're very happy to have you here to join us. Usually Tom joins me in front of the camera, but we are trying out some new equipment today. It's so exciting. And we're going to have some slides to share with you. So he's actually off screen today so he can run the new equipment, and be patient with us in case we make any mistakes or have to pause for a moment, but it's so exciting. And also we have our moderators for the chat, and Tom,
and Randy and Jesse today.
Randy and Jesse are on today for that. Tiffany might pop in later if she gets done with what she's doing. So thank you ladies so much for helping us out with the moderating the chat and going after the funny little trolls. So a little bit of housekeeping. I have a presentation that I'm going to give first. It's about 30 minutes. And then after that, we will stay on to do a Q&A. So if you could hold your questions until after my presentation, that would be great, because we know you guys get very chatty in the chat feed. And it just makes it easier for Tom to find the questions if you hold them towards the end. If you will put your question in the comment, prefaced by 4 question marks, then ask your question and end with 4 question marks. That just helps the questions pop out to him and differentiate them.
They can ask questions amongst themselves, however.
Oh, yeah, he says you can ask questions. Oh, can they hear you? Are you on mic?
Yeah, I think my mic's, yeah, if you guys have a question, Jesse and Randy sometimes jump in, or if one of you has an answer to something that someone's wondering about. I will not be watching the chat feed at all today like I usually do, so you won't see me popping in either until Tammy's all the way done. Tammy, back to you.
All right, great. Thanks, Tom. Okay, let's talk about this. So how was your Halloween? That was yesterday. Oh my gosh. So, you know, I say that Halloween is the gateway holiday into what I call the holiday binge season. So the stores already are stocking the aisles with all those highly processed, high-fat, high-sugar junk foods that contain no nutrition. I was in Whole Foods the other day. They have all these extra end caps and extra shelving with all this junk on it. We went to Costco, and inside Costco, they took and moved our entire produce department and tucked it back in a corner, and in its place is all the alcohol and cookies and candy and nuts and all the junk food. It was unbelievable, but that's how it goes, right? So the vast majority of the vast majority of us can't eat junk food in moderation. But from Halloween until New Year's Day, people typically eat with abandon, and many of them gain weight, and some people gain a whole lot of weight. It just becomes one big sugar high, and that is socially accepted as the norm, right? Everybody's like, oh, I can't wait till January. But then come January, when people are feeling tired, fat, and depressed from lack of nutrition, the stores are stocking the end caps with vitamins and herbal supplements and the latest diet foods and the latest diet books. It's absolute insanity. So if you have followed my blog over the years, you know that I had struggled with my weight for most of my adult life. So there I was at my heaviest, about 174 pounds, and there I am feeling slim and trim at 125. I used to be a yo-yo dieter. I was going from Weight Watchers, which I belonged to many times, to whatever happened to be the latest fad diet. You know, I'd buy all the books, and bless Tom's heart, he'd say, okay, what are we doing now? But that all ended in February of 2015 when I joined JP and Chef AJ's online Ultimate Weight Loss Program. You know, I'd already been eating a plant-based, no oil diet at that time. I had been for about 2 years, but I had been diagnosed with hypothyroidism after going plant-based, and I had gained some weight. And even after I started on medication for hypothyroidism, I just was not able to lose the weight. But it was with Chef AJ and JP's help that I was able to educate myself about adopting a whole food plant-based lifestyle that eliminated processed foods, sugar, oil, salt, flour, and alcohol. We call them the SOFAs. I found out that some people, myself included, are super sensitive to highly palatable processed foods. I had tried well, you can eat everything in moderation type dieting, but that turned out to be a complete myth and a disaster for me, and maybe for you too. Once I learned about the pleasure trap, calorie density, and sequencing my eating, I was finally able to get to a healthy weight, and I have stayed there for 5 years now. Sometimes I feel like it's an absolute miracle. I mean, it was so simple. Why didn't somebody teach me about this a long time ago? And I want to tell you, we have a video all about calorie density and sequencing on the YouTube channel that you might enjoy. So this inspirational saying was on a chalkboard at Whole Foods in their customer service area years ago, and I took a photo of it, and then I made this little poster. I don't know who the quote is from, but I love inspirational quotes, and this one rings really true for me. If you really want to do something, you will find a way, and if you don't, you will find an excuse. Well, I can find a way and the time to do the things that are really important to me in all aspects of my life, not just in the area of health and wellness. So it's important to remember that life isn't always smooth sailing. Things are always going to come up. If it's not a pandemic, it might be surgery or weddings or the holidays. It's going to be something, right? Tom and I have had plenty of our own trials and life challenges to get through in the years since we started this way of eating. For instance, in 2015, we remodeled our kitchen and it was out of commission for 6 weeks, even though they had told us, oh, we're going to have everything done in just 3 weeks. But we had luckily set up a makeshift kitchen in our garage, and we were cooking our own food and eating healthy for all of the 6 weeks instead of just 3, because that's just how we roll. We prep and prepare for events. In 2016, Tom had surgery. About 8 weeks later, I had to have a hysterectomy and pelvic prolapse surgery, and I was laid up for 12 weeks, but neither one of us gained any weight during that time. You know, I've been dealing with chronic sciatic nerve pain for years now, but I don't let it be an excuse for eating unhealthy food or stopping my exercise routine. I modify things when I have to, when the pain's too great, but it doesn't change the fact that I continue to eat healthy. You know, our daughter and her husband have had 3 children in the past 4 years. And when she was pregnant with the twins, she went on bed rest starting at 6 weeks into the pregnancy. So we had to take over taking care of her toddler and running their household, as well as holding down our own and keeping our YouTube channel and our blog going. You know, the twins came early and everyone moved in with us to be closer to the hospital. We had joyful chaos here for a while, but you know what? Through all of it, we didn't gain any weight. We continued to eat healthy. Through all of these disrupting events, we never wavered from our choice of eating a healthy, whole food, plant-based lifestyle. In fact, I would say that having sustained the healthy diet is what helped me get through these big life events without completely crashing. Having achieved coming through some of those stressful times makes getting through the holidays seem like a breeze. I love this quote from Zig Ziglar. Don't give up what you want most for what you want now. You know, this is really important to remember as we enter into the holiday binge season. Remember that there is no junk food, No dessert or high-calorie meal that can equal the pleasure and the happiness that eating healthy, and being at a healthy weight can give you. Food only provides a few seconds of pleasure. Think about it. You only enjoy it while it's in your mouth, and it's only in your mouth for a few seconds. Whereas the enjoying of a stable brain chemistry, stable blood sugar, stable blood pressure, being healthy and being at a healthy weight are something that you can enjoy 24/7. You know, everyone has to make a plan. Everyone must choose one of two pains: the pain of discipline or the pain of regret. And this really is a choice. You have to have a strategy for getting through the holiday season without losing your mind, gaining weight, and feeling tired. I'm going to share some of the strategies that have helped me get through stressful times, including holidays, family gatherings, house remodeling, surgery, and helping our daughter when she had the babies. I'm going to share some tips with you. These be the same strategies that are good for planning ahead for even fun things that can still be stressful or derail you from your healthy eating, like a vacation or birthday celebrations, weddings, all kinds of fun things, as well as surgery or uncomfortable things that are thrown our way. Decide what you want your goal to be at the end of whatever event is presented to you. Do you want to lose weight? Do you want to maintain your current weight? Or do you want to gain weight? Now, I know that that last option sounds totally ridiculous, like who's choosing to gain weight, right? But the consequences of our food choices and our behavior choices can result in gaining weight and losing control of our healthy eating. If you choose to lose weight during this time, you're actually going to need to tighten the screws, so to speak, and be very diligent about your healthy habits. Maybe it will be easier this season since there will most likely be fewer gatherings and less interactions because of the pandemic. But even so, you need to make a plan and decide what your holiday season is going to look like. Don't just leave things up to chance, you guys. It's that old fail to plan, plan to fail. If you choose to maintain your weight, maybe you can plan for some controlled special meals that contain some higher calorie density yet healthy foods that won't derail your food plan. You know, that's the tricky part. You need to know what your food triggers are and avoid them. Make wise choices. Maybe you'll include like a little avocado or some dried fruit or some nuts in a couple of dishes or some tofu. You know, it's just best to plan it out ahead of time and decide where and when those special meals will happen. Otherwise, you might find yourself overindulging way too many times. That's why I like to plan it all out. If you choose to eat all the high calorie density foods, highly processed junk, or choose to overeat every day, then you're choosing the options of a possible downward spiral or out of control eating, weight gain, and even reversing your good health. As quickly as we can see improved results when we adopt a healthy, whole food, plant-based lifestyle, remember that we can see the benefits disappear just as quickly. You know, when people go to the McDougall program or they go over to True North Health Center, in just a matter of days eating healthy, they can start reducing their blood pressure, their blood glucose numbers, their aches and pains start to go away. But also, if you reverse and start eating the wrong foods again, you can reverse all of that in the same short amount of time. We also know from reading the Pleasure Trap book by Doctors Doug Lisle and Alan Goldhammer that eating the highly palatable, high-calorie density foods set us up to crave more of them. And cravings are very, very powerful and difficult to overcome. I have a whole video all about how to handle cravings that you might want to watch. You know, it all begins with that first innocent bite, and just like that, the brain starts wanting more. One bite, one binge, I say. If moderation worked for us, we wouldn't have found ourselves ever having gained weight. But for many of us, we can't moderate eating the highly palatable foods. We probably all know someone who can, but that's not me. And when you choose the behavior, you are choosing the consequences. You know, we have to learn to say no. Practice that with me. No. You don't have to go to every holiday open house or every party or, you know, and I know this year we're probably not going to be faced with a lot of those choices, but eventually we are going to be faced with those. Choose the events that you're going to enjoy the most and say no to the rest. Don't take on more than you can handle. Remember that self-care is self-love. You don't even have to give people a reason why you're saying no. Do what is best for you. Instead of getting together to eat with people, plan activities instead. Or agree to get together with some people after the holiday season is over, when you're not so pressed for time. You know, discipline is choosing between what you want now in the moment and what you want most. So keep your eye on the prize, because health is our greatest wealth, and having good health tastes so much better than any food you might decide to try to eat. Make a list of foods that are going to be non-negotiable before you're attending any events or before you're making any meals for your family. If you know there's going to be temptations, decide ahead of time what you are or not going to eat. Once you decide, for instance, that you're not going to eat oil, sugar, flour, or drink alcohol, when you're faced with these foods sitting in front of you, there's no debate to be had, because you already decided ahead of time how you're going to deal with it. And that little sugar addict in your brain doesn't get to convince you to dive off the deep end and indulge in unhealthy eating, because you have already decided ahead of time, I'm not eating junk. You know, I learned this technique from JP and Chef AJ, and it has been a real game changer for me. You can go ahead and plan some healthy treats and desserts that are tasty, but ones that won't lead you to a binge. And I have to tell you, I've said it before, but I'm going to say it again, that I have never regretted deciding not to eat something. So think about that. The opposite is usually true. We decide to indulge in something not on our food plan, and immediately after eating it, we have regret, guilt, and feel defeated. First of all, it usually doesn't taste as good as we had anticipated, right? And when your body's not used to eating high calorie density, sugary, fattening foods, it really doesn't make you feel well. When you end a holiday having eaten according to your healthy lifestyle, there is so much joy, pleasure, and pride in that. When we choose the behavior, we choose the consequences, so choose wisely. You know, exercise in the morning before your brain has time to figure out what you're doing. This makes me laugh. Maybe this is why I like morning exercise, I'm not sure. Just make sure that your daily schedule, even when life is crazy and hectic, that it allows for time for exercise. You know, I have found that exercise helps me emotionally, spiritually, as well as physically. It makes me feel powerful and in control. My morning walks set the pace for the day. When I start out having done something so healthy for my body, I want to continue that trend throughout the day. It's one of those non-negotiable habits that I have developed. Warning, don't live in your exercise clothes, right? Sweatpants with spandex are too forgiving, and you can't tell if you are gaining weight when you are wearing something that stretches. You can easily gain, 10 pounds, and those clothes will still fit. So make sure you're putting on a pair of jeans with a zipper every once in a while, just so you can see where your weight really is at. You need to also get enough sleep. When we're overly tired, we are less likely to stick to our healthy habits. And this is a known fact that when we don't get enough sleep, our brain actually starts to send out a message to eat more carbs. Unfortunately, we don't usually reach for the healthy ones when that happens. So try to stick with a normal, healthy bedtime, even during the crazy holiday season. And if you feel like you need to take a Saturday afternoon nap, give yourself grace and take it. Now, I'm not great at meditation, but I must say that it does the body and the brain so much good. And there are free smartphone apps that make this really easy. I always have my phone with me, you probably do too, and I can carve out as little as a minute anywhere I'm at, and I can use the app for a little calmness. Now, I like the app called Insight Timer. I think it was free, and if it wasn't free, it was a very small amount. I've been using it and it works really well, and you can choose from a wide variety of meditations and find the one that works best for you. You know, making yourself a priority isn't being selfish. It's actually necessary. It's okay to put your needs first. As a people-pleasing female, this is a very difficult one for me to do. As a daughter, a wife, a mother, a grandmother, and a friend, I want to make everybody else happy, and I can often feel pulled in many different directions. But it's very important to put our own needs first. We must do what is best and healthiest for ourselves first, because this helps us to be healthy and strong and then more able to give and care for others. Ask people for help when you need it, if you need it, and don't let yourself become overcommitted. Do only the things that you really want to do with a happy heart. I know for myself that if someone asks me to do something and I start to get that like sunken feeling in there, I know that's my gut telling me I need to say no. You have to listen to it. Your vibe attracts your tribe. I love this one too. It's so important to have a support system. You know, we're greatly influenced by the company that we keep. Therefore, we need to have people in our lives that think the same way we do, and those who can support our healthy lifestyle choices, even if they don't choose to eat this way. If they don't stand in our way, that is support. Now, hubby Tom is my biggest support. He is all in with this way of eating a whole food plant-based diet and living a healthy lifestyle. In fact, we help keep each other on track. In addition to him, our grown children understand our food choices, and they've also adopted whole food plant-based diet, and we all support one another. But you know what? You don't have to live in the same town or even in the same house to support other people. I text, email, talk on the phone with women from my online communities that I have been close with. We encourage each other and we offer support. Plus, we have this amazing community here with all of you guys that is so supportive. And some of the people that I correspond with, I've never actually met in real life, but I feel like they are my real friends. So outside of my online support, I also have a local group of women that eat the same way I do. And pre-pandemic, we have gotten together for years now, once a week, to walk together and to chat. We actually all met online. Didn't know that we all lived so close together. We have a texting group to keep tabs on each other. We share recipes and we support one another. It's a lot of fun. So food prep, you know how I feel about batch cooking and being prepared. So I would say you need to start stocking your fridge and your freezer right now with healthy food. Every time you make anything, veggie burgers, chili, soup, stew, double the recipe and freeze the extra for future meals. You know, all year long, I batch cook ahead and freeze enough soup, stew, chili, veggie burgers, taco lentils, all kinds of things to put in the freezer that will last us for weeks. That way, if the unexpected happens, we still have healthy homemade fast food ready to heat and eat. You know, as a young mother, another more experienced mother gave me some good advice, and I still remember it to this day. And she said, always expect the unexpected. And boy, was she right. So these made-ahead meals will save you during busy holiday season. You'll always have something healthy to come home to that will reheat easily. You can even make some healthy treats if you can moderate eating them, like some of my pumpkin spice oat muffins or cookies, or my chocolate cherry brownies, the apple oat crisp or fall pudding, or the banana nice cream, so that you have some treats that you can enjoy. Has anyone made my recipe for the apple oat crisp from the Health Science magazine yet? We absolutely love this, and you can make a little bit of banana nice cream to put on top, and you won't feel left out at all. Now, if you can't handle having certain foods around, then don't allow the family to bring them in. Ask them to eat those foods away from home. Ask for what you need. Oh, Tom, do you have the Chef AJ? There it is. If it's in your house, it's in your mouth. If you follow Chef AJ, I know you've heard her say this over and over. She always says it's not a matter of if you will eat it, it is only a matter of when you will eat it. So it's okay to ask your family members not to bring in foods that are going to be hard for you to moderate or that are going to trip you up and make you start craving. You know, it's also your job to make sure that you have something healthy to eat no matter where you go. Don't leave it up to anybody else. Many people have well intentions, but they don't understand whole food, plant-based, SOS free. So if you get invited to a dinner at someone's home, take at least one dish to share that fits into your food plan. I usually take more than one, but at least take one. Even if the hostess insists that you do not need to bring something, don't take no for an answer, because it's a wonderful opportunity to show others how tasty a whole food plant-based diet really is. And in addition to a plant-based entree or side dish, a tray of fresh fruit is always nice. Wow them with a fruit turkey. So our oldest granddaughter, Sweet Pea, helped me make this last year. You can make all kinds of designs, and check out Pinterest for lots of different ideas. You can do Christmas trees. You can do all kinds of fun things. You know, everyone is on sugar overload this time of year, and other people always appreciate the simple pleasure of delicious fresh fruit. Also, instead of taking a box of candy for a hostess gift, take a fruit basket. Even just a bag of clementines put in an inexpensive basket is an economical gift that everyone can enjoy. Now let's talk about pre-eating. What is it? Well, you know, I have a video all about having a potato in your pocket, so you should look up that YouTube video. I learned this strategy of pre-eating years ago from a Weight Watchers meeting leader. So many parties are later than the time that I usually eat dinner, so I usually eat something healthy before I go. That way I don't arrive starving. I can skip the appetizers that are not usually something that are vegan friendly. It's usually something fried, right? And I might even eat a sweet potato in the car on the way to an event. And it's just very satisfying and calming and fills me up so I don't arrive starving. Also, I want to suggest that you start your day in a savory way using dark leafy greens, because they contain thylakoids, which help suppress the appetite and help with controlling cravings. So eat your greens first and then your starch. And I have a video that we did, it was a live video we did a few weeks ago on how to water saute vegetables. And that one is a great one to make and have for breakfast. So eat your greens first and then have your starch, and you'll be amazed at what a difference it makes in your appetite and your cravings the rest of the day. And also, if you follow Dr. Furman's recommendation to have one of your meals a day be a big, beautiful salad. He says salad is the main dish. That's a great way to get in a lot more dark leafy greens that are so good not only for the thylakoids and the appetite, but also your gut microbiome and for your appetite control. Eat like you normally do the rest of the year. This is not a food fest, you guys, between now and January 1. Maybe have something fancier for 1 or 2 meals, but not the entire holiday season from now until January. Plan it out and decide which meal it is going to be that you are going to maybe be a little more indulgent. You know, every bite you take is either fighting disease or feeding it. I love this visual of that. So you might have to change your traditions. You know, I no longer bake the traditional foods of years past. And you know what? No one seems to miss them. We now have new, delicious, healthy, whole food, plant-based foods that satisfy us. Those who want the sugary treats, they can still get them elsewhere, and I don't feel bad about that at all. I don't want to feed others food that I no longer know that it's not healthy. You know, we have holiday meals either at our house or our daughter's house or our son-in-law's sister's house, and we tell the rest of the family that everything we make is going to be plant-based, and if they want to have animal products, they're welcome to bring them, and that's worked out really well for us. Our daughters-in-laws always go out of their way to make something plant-based for us, and it is greatly appreciated. Everyone loves our plant-based foods, even the people who adhere to a standard American diet. So we just set up a beautiful buffet, and what people choose to eat is just a complete non-issue. Everyone gets what they want to eat. We always have a fresh fruit platter as an option for dessert along with hot herbal tea. And I usually make, you know, a healthier plant-based dessert as well to share, just so others can sample what a plant-based dessert tastes like. You know, if you can't modify your family's favorite holiday dishes to fit into your healthy, whole food, plant-based lifestyle, choose a different menu. You can have Italian, Mexican, or an Indian themed meal. I mean, why not? If the weather cooperates, we always enjoy taking the family out for a walk in nature after our main meal on holidays. It does everyone a world of good. The kids and the adults all have fun. If we come back inside later, we can play board games, we can play bingo cards, look at old photo albums, watch old home movies, put puzzles together. There's so many things to do other than eat all day. You know, we've even chosen to have a Christmas brunch instead of doing a big dinner. My daughter and I thought that it was so much easier to do that. It just seemed like a lot less work. And then as soon as we got dishes done, we got in our cars, we drove to the mountains, and we went sledding for the rest of the day. And it was so much fun. We didn't spend the whole day in the kitchen cooking, cleaning, washing dishes, and pigging out. You know, you need to make a plan now and decide how you want to feel come January 1st, and then put in place the steps that you need to take it to get you there. You're never going to be 100% ready, and it's never going to be just the right time, but that's the point. It means that every moment is also the right moment. If you want it, you just have to do it. And that's me. That was me on a rock feeling
Are you
really...
rocking it?
I was rocking it. I was feeling really healthy that day. And you know what, you guys? That feeling is how I feel every January 1st. And that's how I intend to feel every January 1st for the rest of my life. So now we're going to open it up to Q&A. And so, Tom, are you going to stay over there, or are you going to come around here? What are you going to do?
I'm going to hand you this temporarily until I'm going to turn on I'm going to put the video on your computer, and then we'll get rid of that one.
Okay, that sounds good. So, if you guys have any questions about the holidays and what to do, we do have a blog post. We have a video and a blog post that we made last year before Thanksgiving, and we will, after this show is over, we will go ahead and put a link to that in the show notes. And I talk in that all about the foods that we traditionally like to make now. We have a shepherd's pie that we love, and everybody, loves that. Even the people who don't eat plant-based love our vegan shepherd's pie. So like I always say, you guys, good food is good food. It just so happens that our good food is plant-based, but that doesn't take away from how delicious it is. It's still super delicious. And so, people who don't eat like us can still enjoy our foods. Oh, you know what? I'm touching that's what's happening. I'm touching the mouse.
The arrow was scrambling all over the screen, and I thought, what?
I was trying to get that mouse to work on this computer, and it wasn't working. That's what's happening there. That's so funny. Well, we're just a little crazy here. So I had a couple questions come in through email, and so I want to address those, and then we'll be looking at the chat for any questions.
Here, now your mouse will work.
Now my mouse will work. Thank you.
You can hand me that one back.
Okay, I'll give you this one back. That's so funny. I was really messing him up. He couldn't understand why things were going crazy on his computer. Okay, great. Oh, that was too funny. So somebody wanted to know, they don't like nutritional yeast, and so they wanted to know what to use in the cheese sauce recipes instead of nutritional yeast. Well, some people tell me that they just leave it out and that it still tastes good because it has so many delicious seasonings in it. But if you want to try to get kind of like the cheesy tang or something, I'm struggling for the right word, you could try some unsweetened plant-based yogurt. So just try to find a plain unsweetened, there's ones that are made from soy, almond, or cashew, and just try to find one of those and I would start with I would use the same amount of the yogurt as there is nutritional yeast. So if it's a 1/4 cup or 1/3 of a cup, then I would just use that same amount of yogurt and try that. Do you make and deliver any holiday treats to friends or neighbors? Understanding that this year is different. Yes, but now I do savory things instead of sweets because I no longer do holiday baking unless it's something that's compliant that I can eat. I might make something a little bit richer for my kids or my grandkids, but I don't get into it, and I'm just making one thing to take to them and let them have it. But I don't want to be making a whole bunch of stuff like that because it's just too tempting for me. And so instead I do savory things. So you can make salsa and do baked chips with it. You can do hummus. You can make your own hummus. You can make delicious flavored hummuses. You can make the dried soup mixes, and those are, whole food plant-based with lentils and rice and the seasonings in them, and then give them a little card that tells them how much broth to add to it. So you can do things like that. Or fresh fruit is really wonderful. And we're very fortunate where we live here in Northern California that the clementines, those easy peel little clementine oranges, are grown in our area. And so we can pick those up from the local farmers at the farmers market, and everybody here loves them. If you go to somebody's house, they'll set a bowl of those out. If you go to a potluck, somebody will bring a bowl of those. And so I've given those as gifts. Those are really nice, and they'll last for a couple of weeks in people's refrigerators. So that makes a really nice gift. So think savory instead of sweet, and you can do that. Or you can do a total non-food gift. Give a candle, or do a bird feeder or bird seed, or something like that is a good idea. We got another question from Gail wanted to know if she doesn't have an air fryer, and when she takes the cold potatoes out of the fridge and cuts them to make French fries, what temperature should she use? And should she use convection or bake mode? No, I would use convection because that has air circulating, and I would go ahead and put it on a baking rack on top of a baking sheet if you have that, because that will allow more air to circulate. And you're going to have to play with the temperature because I use an air fryer, and so I use like 400 degrees for the air fryer, but you'll have to play with your convection oven and see if 400 or 425, maybe 425 might work better, and try that. And you can do pretty decent fries that way. You can also use the broilers. So I used to make them that way before I had an air fryer, and that worked good. She also had a question about the Holland Bowl Meal fruit bowl, wanting to know if the fruit bowl really keeps the fruit fresh longer. You know, I can't tell you for certain. I've never taken like the regular salad bowl and the fruit bowl side by side and that would be a good experiment. Buy bananas and put some in each and see what happens. But if you think it's more practical to get the bowl that doesn't have the holes in it, then I would say do that, because then you have more uses. Tom has something to say about that.
Well, the science of any fruit bowl is the ventilation, the air holes, because fruits. What is it that you put in the bag if you want something to ripen quickly? You put it in a bag with something else.
An apple sometimes, or a banana.
And so fruits give off, a gas that then causes other nearby fruits or themselves to ripen more quickly. So the idea of the holes is for the air to flow and to not have the buildup of those ripening gases that fruits naturally emit. So that's the nutshell of the science behind that. Mm-hmm.
Okay, so another thing, another gift that we've done are nuts too. Like you can get, some nice nuts and give like a nice assortment of nuts to people too, because I just don't want to give people things that I know are unhealthy. Okay, any other questions?
Anthea Phillips earlier up in the feed was asking if we ever had a tradition of making and giving away treats. I think she means whole food, plant-based to friends, neighbors, relatives, pandemic aside. I
answered that.
Okay, I so much of what you was right along that line, so good. I didn't know if that was one of your prepared questions or one that just came in. Have you ever tried frozen oranges and bananas with a bit of vanilla?
No, but that sounds good. To make like nice cream, is that what you make, like the, what do they call that? Orange dreamsicle or something? What is it? What is that called?
I don't know.
I don't know. So I'm reading the chat here, you guys, looking. So yeah, you can make jam, you can make chutney. There's lots of fun things that you can do. You could do the, the quinoa banana oat muffin mix for somebody who is plant-based. You could layer that in a jar. That would be really fun. I think like the soups are really fun to do for people. I think there's some vegan food gift cookbooks that you can check out at your library and see. And, there's lots of ideas in that. You can still make, like banana bread or something like that if you want to give something along those lines to people. I just don't want to bake that stuff because I don't want to smell it and be tempted to want to eat it. So that's why I go for savory things or fruit. And the fruit, honestly, is really easy, and that makes me feel really good to give people fruit. Okay, orange creamsicle or 50-50. Okay, that sounds really good. We'll have to try that. Okay, those are really great. All right. Any other questions that you guys have? Oh, here comes one. Yes, oranges as in nice cream, just like a creamsicle. That sounds great. Very fun. Yeah, we still like to make nice cream all year long. In fact, we did a video on how to make chocolate and then chocolate nice cream in the Champion juicer, and then I take it and make it into a chocolate brownie parfait. So Tom's got to find time to get that edited, and I've got to do a blog post. So just takes us a while.
It's not too late for.
Oh,
it's not too late for chocolate brownie parfait, even though we're in fall. They're good year round, and it's all good, healthy stuff.
Yeah.
What's in the chocolate? The ice cream part, of course, is bananas and cherries and
cacao powder.
Yeah, and then what's in the brownie?
Well, there's no cherries in the. We did chocolate ice cream for that one, and then the brownies are my chocolate cherry brownies.
Yeah,
those are really good. Oh, you guys, you're making me hungry. What are you guys having for dinner? I don't know what we're having yet. We have to open up the refrigerator and see.
Yeah. Oh, okay. Jesse's talking about this format works really well when Tami's doing a full-on presentation on something. It keeps me from having to sit there staring directly at the camera, trying to remember to smile while I'm doing it when I don't have much to say when she's doing a monologue. So we'll use this technology for more formal presentations. Or if she's doing some kind of a cooking thing, I might be working on the side and then come around and slide in afterwards. But we are trying out new technology, so thank you for your patience with that. I tried to keep up with her on the slides. I was only late a couple of times. So anyway, lots of fun.
Okay, so somebody says, how can I handle if my husband cooks not so healthy meals? Well, you need to talk to him about it. Does he understand why you're trying to eat healthy? You have to negotiate with the people that you share a house with. And if it's tempting for you, you have to sit down and have a conversation. One thing that I did with Tom was I had him watch a lot of videos, especially Forks Over Knives.
She did that a sneaky way, too.
Well, now you have to tell him.
I would come downstairs, and on the computer would be an article on screen about something, whether it was a YouTube video or something from somebody's blog, and it would be about fatigue, or it would be about heart health, or it would be about blood sugar, or it would be about cholesterol. I had issues with all of those. It would be about weight. I had a little issue with that. So there are all these just interesting, pertinent articles to my life that kept appearing on the kitchen computer screen when I would come. She wouldn't be in the room. I would be coming down to have
sometimes I would be in the room.
My morning beverage, and here this would just be kind of hanging out there. So I would read them. I'm curious. I like scientific information. So I came along slowly. It was a transition. My advice to folks that are working on informing their spouse about what they've learned is to expose them to it and let it evolve. Because one of my biggest fears early on, we have spoke about in earlier videos, was I didn't want to be boxed into a corner or feel pushed or threatened or anything like that. And so I was like, okay, fine, I'll eat what you cook here, and then I'll eat what I want when I'm out, traveling around on my job. But when you start learning more and more stuff, going to a few conferences was key for me. Neil Bernard conference that we went to jointly was a real pivotal point for me. And then you sit there making some of the choices Tami talks about. Well, do I want to make sure I enjoy heart disease as I grow older? Do I want to make sure my cholesterol is high so that I'm for sure my arteries will clog up? What about all of those plaques that clog up in my brain? Should I eat animal products so I make sure I get plenty of those plaques to clog up my brain? Think about it. As you become educated, you can maybe make better decisions. And guys eventually will come around if they get the information.
Hopefully so. It worked for us, and that does work for a lot of people, but I know some people do have spouses who have absolutely no desire to change. But I think you have to talk to them, and if they're open-minded, tell them, how it makes you feel to have all that unhealthy food around. So wish you really good luck with that. TS says, do you have a video for hot chocolate? We don't yet, but I make a really delicious hot chocolate. We just need to make a video for it. Probably Brittany from the Giroudi family, she probably has one up already. Let's see. Is there more up above?
Mm-hmm.
What am I missing?
I don't know how to pronounce this.
I noticed that you left a mess on the kitchen table over there, and it shows when you speak.
Who's saying that?
I am. I'm saying I noticed. I was looking at it, I was like, what is that stuff on the table? Oh, that's where he was.
That's batteries for your microphone.
That was batteries for my microphone.
All my messes are for you.
So I answered about the hot chocolate. Lori says, Tami, I just want to say thank you. I discovered your channel almost a year ago with episode 20. We have an anniversary coming up. You've been so kind, helpful, motivational, and generous. That's very sweet of you. Thank you very much. I really appreciate that. You know, when we get responses like that, that just really motivates us to want to keep doing what we're doing. So thank you so much.
Trecerisi?
Yes, I did talk about the hot chocolate in the beverage video. So do look at the beverage video we did. Was that 3 weeks ago, maybe?
Yeah.
We did that. Wow, we haven't done the video. We've been so busy, you guys. We have a very long list of things that we need to do. We're so behind. And I've been recipe testing. So yesterday I made a gravy. I made roasted garlic mashed potatoes. They were, ooh, that's what I want for dinner. Yeah, I'm going to have mashed potatoes and gravy for dinner. Ooh, that sounds so good.
Did you see Tricerisi's question, will you do any holiday dishes or maybe some raw desserts for the holidays?
I have a chocolate chia pudding that I want to get done, and I had an idea today for making a new pumpkin one that I want to do. So I just don't know if we're going to have time, but we have a video that we made last year for holiday meals, and we have a blog post on the Nutmeg Notebook blog all about holiday meals. And honestly, we make like the same stuff every year for the holidays because, you know, just like we did when we were following the standard American diet, we, you know, got a menu that we liked and we just kept making that. And so...
do you think the mashed potatoes with the gravy new video will be out by Christmas? I know there's not time before Thanksgiving.
Yeah, maybe by Christmas. Maybe by Christmas. So Mary Jo says, watched your beverage video today, made the hot chocolate, wondered if you have tried any of the mushroom blend drinks such as Laird or Four Sigmatic. No, I have not. Let's see. Deborah says that her husband eats plant-based but still wants to eat his ethnic meat dishes. And that works for you, right, Deborah? You know, our son-in-law eats all the plant-based food that we make, but he still enjoys some meat and cheese, and you know, and that's his choice. So we have to respect where people are in their journey. I think that's really important to do. Like, I didn't pressure Tom, and he didn't, you know, he didn't pressure me when I told him I wanted to go whole food plant-based. He told me he wasn't gonna, you know, do it 100%, but he would, you know, certainly eat the things that I made. And that worked well for us because he didn't make me feel bad about choosing to do this, and I didn't make him feel bad about not choosing to do it. But, you know, slowly he saw what was happening with me, and he started, like he said, learning about things, and he decided to also make the change. So, but you know, it has to be their idea. It has to be their journey. Your journey is your journey, and their journey is their journey. And, you know, we have to respect that. Okay, let's see. Oops, I think I just went too far. Lori says, I have a tiny kitchen but have been rewarding my progress with better kitchen equipment. That's so exciting. Slow and steady, but then when I use my appliance or tool, I'm reminded of my positive progress. That's great. And you know, it's nice to give yourself rewards, and that's another thing that you can do to help you get through the holidays. So if there's something that you really want, but you know, you're trying to stay healthy and not gain weight during the holidays, then go ahead and have a reward. So if you get through it and achieve your goal that you have set for you, then you have a reward at the end of it. Why not? Get something that you really want, like, oh, a Breville Smart Oven Air. Amber says, Tami, I love your batch prep videos. They're so helpful. Oh, you're welcome. Hey, you guys, if you don't follow me yet on Instagram, I think it's 1,025 more people to follow me on Instagram. When I get to 10,000, I get some extra privileges and tools that I can use on Instagram. And so if you have an Instagram account, if you could please follow me on Instagram, that would be so awesome. If you don't have an Instagram account, it's free. Please go on Instagram, and you have to create an account, but you don't have to, post anything, but find Nutmeg Notebook on there and follow me. I'm learning more about Instagram, and I need 10,000 followers in order to get all the special little perks for, being able to do some more fun things on there.
A lot of people I see are using her Instagram posts because she puts it, that's a very picture lean on that particular social media site. But she does these nice collages with, all of the bits that she may have had in a day's worth of meals. And so we get a lot of requests for what I eat in a day. And between Instagram and Facebook, you can probably pretty much track, and get ideas on what whole food plant-based delights Tami's whipping up and that we're getting to eat. But Instagram does a nice job of showing that stuff, and she makes these nice little collages and labels them. And so at a glance, you can get, if you're into trying to do some meal planning, that's one place to do it, quick and easy.
Okay, they're talking about somebody named Derek, who's the guy with the nice eyes. Where at, you guys? I have to check this person out. You have to tell me where this person, what's the blog or the YouTube channel?
Wanda just signed up for Instagram, following you.
Thank you, Wanda. That's great, you guys. Yeah, I don't love Instagram. It's kind of difficult to post on it because, I have to do it on my cell phone. But the nice thing about it is everything is very compact. And so if you want to see, you can see my batch cooking on the weekend. Sometimes I don't get it posted until Monday. And then you can see how I use the batch cooking things throughout the week to create meals. And it's all really close and easy. I think it's a little easier for the viewer to view than on Facebook because everything on Facebook changes and moves so quickly. And on Instagram, it's more like right there.
TS has a question. Do you see that?
I see. I signed up for Instagram. I follow you, but I can't seem to figure out how to watch stories. Okay, so the stories only stay up for 24 hours. So you have to click on them, and then it's really short how long it lasts. And sometimes it's just a still picture. Sometimes it's a video. Mine are almost always just a still picture. So try that. And I don't know if you can see that on your computer or if you have to just see that on your iPhone or your iPad, or I'm not sure. See, I still have a lot to learn about Instagram.
Stories play on the mobile devices. That's where they're really pointed.
Yes. Well, Instagram is for mobile devices. You can't post on it from your computer. You have to post from a mobile device. Elisa Black says, new follower here. Thank you so much for sharing your knowledge. I've been in a rabbit hole of your videos all week. Just finished my first week of making chopped salads and I love them. Oh, that's so wonderful. I am so happy for you. Happy chopping. And thank you so much for coming on and commenting. We really appreciate that. Okay, so Johnny says, I can't figure out how to find the recipes that are posted on Instagram. Okay, so here's the deal. Instagram does not allow active links within the post. And so when I post a link on there, it's because Instagram is owned by Facebook. And so when I post on Instagram, that same post can be shared on Facebook. So I go ahead and I put the link in there. But I also put it in my profile. So what you have to do is you have to go to the top of the post and you have to click on Nutmeg Notebook, and that takes you to my profile page. And then down in the description of who I am, you'll see a link tree, LINKTREE. You click on that, that takes you to another page where I have then put in the links to the recipes, and that's how you find them. I don't have, Brenda says, are you going to share your zucchini muffin recipe? I don't have a zucchini muffin recipe, but maybe somebody else does. So I just have the quinoa banana oat muffins and the pumpkin spice oat muffin recipes. And then there's a more processed pumpkin chocolate chip one that's on the blog that I was making before I knew about Chef AJ and her program. Lori says, more positive feedback, Tami. I really appreciate that you moved your weekly post to Sundays instead of Tuesdays with Tami and sometimes Tom. Yeah, we're happier to have it on Sundays too. So thank you so much for the positive feedback. We really appreciate it. Okay, I'll put the app on my phone, TS says. Also the Holland Bowl I just received. It's so easy to chop. Thank you so much. Oh, congratulations and happy chopping. It's so fun. Yeah, so we did the beverage video was about 3 weeks ago. If you just look on, it was a live that we did, and we talked all about what kinds of things do we drink for beverages on a whole food, plant-based, SOS-free lifestyle. And there was a chocolate hot cocoa on there.
Did you see the question from Tracy Reese? I can answer. Okay. Asking about adult beverages for the holidays. Tami does not. She sticks with her fruit juices. She's drinking Beet Boost right now, not red wine. I may be inclined to have a red wine or perhaps a beer with a holiday meal, but the rest of the family doesn't actually drink any adult beverages, so it doesn't really happen very often. But I'm not 100% abstainer, but Tami is. Yeah.
You know, I never was a big alcohol drinker, and so it was really easy for me. You know, I would have, I would have wine maybe 2 or 3 times a year for like anniversary or birthday or something, you know, if we went out for a fancy dinner or something. And, you know, and since I became hypothyroid, I just gain weight really, really easily. So I'd rather have food for that amount of calories than to have alcohol. And alcohol does slow down your metabolism for like 72 hours after you drink it. And I just don't have room for that in my life. So, but you know, it's a personal choice, and no judgment if people decide to still have some wine or whatever, or a beer. And I never liked beer at all. Karen wants to know what local spices are must-haves. Well, you know, it all depends on how you cook and what you make. So if you do any of the muffins or any of the cobblers or any of the desserts that I do, then I would highly recommend that you get their pumpkin spice, their apple pie spice, pumpkin pie spice, apple pie spice, the gingerbread spice. Their cinnamon is like the best cinnamon ever. So those are all for like baked goods, or you can use them in your hot oatmeal, your steel cut oats. Anything like that. And then I love their onion powder, garlic powder, jalapeno powder, their chipotle chili powder, because they roast their own and then grind their own spices right there. And then the Hestia Greek seasoning, Tom and I both really like that one. The smoked paprika, but see, those are the things that I use in my recipes, and so it kind of depends on what you cook. They're 7 spice Italian. They have a whole line of salt-free seasoning blends, So look at those as well. And it just depends on how you cook. Like if you do curries or anything like that, then you'd want to get their curry powder, their chili powder. Everything is good. So I would say look at what are your favorite recipes and what spices do you use in those, and then order those spices, because we might cook the same and we might cook a little bit differently. Also, they have a pepperoni. They have one called Depth, which is a mushroom. It's a ground mushroom, and you can just use that to add flavors to like soups and stews and gravy. So really good. But we love Local Spicery. Also, in Local Spicery, if you put Nutmeg Notebook in the message box when you check out, you'll get 2 free small samples, and you can even designate what you want those samples to be. And as long as they have those spices made up, then they will include those. And if they are out of them, then they'll substitute whatever they have. Yes.
Bernadette is asking about the jar opener. Can you please tell us about the jar opener again?
Oh, should I grab it?
I'll grab it.
Jar Key.
Yeah.
It's called Jar Key, and it's on our Amazon page. So in the show notes underneath the video, if you click on See More, then you will see a link to our Amazon affiliate page. And this is the Jar Key. This is what it looks like, and it just helps you, it helps to release the pressure and helps you get the lid open much easier. So, I think this comes as a 2-pack, because we found it on Amazon as a 2-pack for the same price as getting just one. And so that's on our Amazon page. Okay, so Wanda is traveling next week out of state. She's the only one that will be eating whole food, plant-based, SOS free. So she ordered items from Mama Says delivered to the home where she will be staying to help keep it easy. That is a great idea. We have ordered Mama Says before, and we thought it was really delicious. And that is a good idea to have it shipped where you're going, Wanda. So, and we have a link for them too. It's in there. It's in the show notes. It's in the show notes. So it's food that is sent to you cold, and then once you get it, you can either put it in the refrigerator or you can freeze it. And they have an oil-free, a Chef AJ oil-free pack that you can order, and it's really good. It tastes like home-cooked food. It really does. Yes, the Saigon Cassia cinnamon is my favorite. Oh, and I love cardamom too. Yeah, and you can use less of the Local Spicery seasonings. They're so flavorful. They are so much more flavorful than the grocery store ones. Okay, let's see what else. Yeah, and there's they have pepperoni spice. And a lot of people love that and use that a lot. I don't use it all that much, but it is really good. And I like it when I do use it. So don't ask me why I don't use it more.
That subtle vegan, did you see her come? She's an overachiever. She's starting her binge fest already. Okay, you get to rewatch this video from the beginning then.
So, Wanda, I do something similar to what you're doing when I go visit my parents, because my parents don't eat plant-based. And so I usually ship a box of stuff ahead of time as well, with seasonings, vinegars, all kinds of things, just so I'll have that when I get there. And then they do have a Whole Foods in Nebraska where my parents live, and so then we'll go right to Whole Foods and I'll pick up whatever I need. So good planning ahead. I am so proud of you. It's awesome. Kathy says she got her Jar Key and she really likes it. Thanks for the idea. You're welcome. And one of our viewers told us about it, and I wish I could remember who, and we love it. I gave one to our daughter and she loves it too, because she's always opening up applesauce for the kids, and you know, sometimes they are so hard you can't get them open by yourself, but now she can. Okay.
We're over an hour. Are we pretty well caught up?
Okay, I think we are. I think we're caught up. So I hope that everyone has an amazing holiday season. Make it the best that you can. Ours is certainly going to look different than it has in years past. So far, we are all healthy and doing well. And so our son is planning on quarantining for 2 weeks so that we can all be together, and he'll get a COVID test, and then he'll quarantine, and then he'll get another COVID test. He only sees a couple of people, but he doesn't want to risk giving anything to mom or dad or the kids. And so we're hopeful that we can, a small group of us, because we're keeping our bubble really tight, that we can get together. And so we just hope you all can have a very safe holiday season as well. Tom.
For those of you that get our Nutmeg Notebook emails, I send those out. We are sharing information about an upcoming summit. I think it starts September 14th. It's a free summit, one of those where it's free. You watch it over the course of days that it's running. And then if you can't keep up with that, you can option to buy it. But it's on gut health and the GI gut biome and all the impact that it has throughout the body and up into your brain and stuff. Very interesting. So it's a little bit different angle than some of the ones we've heard in the past, because it's bringing in quite a number of new doctors that we may not have heard from before, sharing their science about gut biome and gut health. So I've sent out that was attached to today's email, reminding you of today's video. I'll probably send out another reminder middle of this coming week. But anyway, take a look at that. There's a lot of background information. You can opt in for free and then go from there. So heads up on that.
So I do think that the Instant Pots do cook differently with altitude. Lori is asking about that. She's asking if anyone else is in Colorado. I think it does. So I would Google that and see what you can find. That you might find a chart or something about that. But it seems like I remember some people talking about that. And so you may need some different times for that. And let's see. Jesse says, thanks, you guys. A great topic today. Nadej says, thank you so much, Tom and Tami. Have a great week, everybody. See you next weekend. And somebody asked if the Instant Pot electric pressure cooker could ever explode. I don't know. I suppose anything could happen, but I have never heard of anybody having one that has exploded. I think they have made them really safe to use now. Elisa says that she's in Utah at 5,600 feet and hasn't had any issues with her Instant Pot. That's great. Thank you for sharing that. So Gina wants to know, when is Nutmeg Notebook on next? We're planning on being here next Sunday. I can't tell you what we're doing yet because I don't know. We had to get through today first. We'll see what we're doing next week. But we'll let you know. We'll post about it. But we're planning on being here at 4 p.m. Pacific time next week for you as well.
I'll send an email.
And Tom will, of course, send out an email and let you know. So if you haven't subscribed to the blog, you guys, you need to go over to nutmegnotebook.com and subscribe. All you have to do is fill out the subscribe tab, and then you'll get on our email list. We try not to spam you. We never sell our email list, and we only send out emails when we have something important to let you know about. So, and you get access to some recipes that only subscribers get. So that's always fun too. Jesse says, I have to say I'm so sorry that you guys don't broadcast weekly anymore. Not just joking. I know. You know, when we decided to start doing some interviews, then you kind of have to accommodate the people's schedule that you want to interview. And so that the doing every other week then kind of went out the window. But anyway, It's been really fun, you guys. Thank you so much for joining us. I'm Tami.
And I'm Tom.
And we help you get healthy and stay healthy, one meal at a time. Thanks for joining us, you guys. We'll see you next week. Bye-bye.
Bye-bye.